Good morning. Welcome to our daily devotion. It is Thursday, March 25th. Interesting scripture that we have this morning. Before I start, I want to thank those of you that continue to watch these videos. Those of you that are continuing to grow in your faith. That is just so important. Just so important. Good morning, Grace. So God bless each of you for your commitment to these devotions. Those of you that watch them live, those of you that watch them later on during the day or during the week, know that the reason I do this is to help you, each of you, to continue to grow in your faith. So good morning. Good morning to you again, Grace. Good morning to you, Marcy. Good morning. Oh, Angie, good morning to you. Beautiful weather back there, except it's dry back there in North Dakota. You need rain, don't you? Morning, John. It's interesting verses here. Before I read them, Conan Nana, you have to realize that Jesus had a regular family. Even though he was God in the flesh, he still had a family, just like you and I have. He didn't start his ministry till he was 30 years old. So for 30 years, he lived in a family there with Mary and Joseph and his brothers and his sisters. They were important to him, naturally. You don't spend 30 years with your family and them not being important. So let's read these verses to try and dig into what the meaning of this. It says, while Jesus was still talking to the crowd, his mother and brothers stood outside wanting to speak to him. Here's Jesus inside speaking. It was such a large crowd that they couldn't get in. So they were waiting to try and speak to him. Good morning, Katrina. Someone told Jesus, your mother and brothers are standing outside wanting to speak to you. He replied to them, who is my mother and who are my brothers? Pointing to his disciples, he said, here are my mother and my brothers and sisters. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my mother and my sister and my mother and my brother. Now, interesting scripture. Imagine Jesus's mother and his brothers, more than likely his sisters there, wanting to see him. And he says that whoever follows him is his mother's brothers and sisters. What did he mean by this? Did he not want to talk to his family? Were they not important to him? I relate to this scripture very much. One, Jocelyn. I really relate to these verses. My mother and my brother and my sisters, they were all important to me. They were all very important to me. But so was my church family important to me. In fact, my wife has stated many times that I put my church family ahead of my own family. And we as Christians, we all have a blood family, but we also have a church family. Now, hopefully your church family is a total blessing to you. And hopefully your blood family is a total blessing to you. My brother who's living with us now, who we're taking care of in his last months, shared his three daughters came over. He has three daughters, and they came over last week at different times. And when they left, I told them, I said, boy, Leo, you're so fortunate that your daughters all get along with one another. And he said, yes, I am. He said, but think about it, all of us got along with each other. There was 6 of us in our family. We all got along extremely well with one another. So hopefully good morning, Will. Hopefully your blood family gets along with one another. Morning, Sharon. Hopefully your church family gets along with one another. Hopefully your blood family is important to you, and hopefully your church family is important to you. I'm sure that your church family has been there for you many times in the past. And I'm sure that your blood family's been there for you many times in the past. I know my family sure has. There's been times that I chose to miss family activities because of my commitment to my church family. If my birthday came on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I would tell my family, let's celebrate Saturday or Sunday because I don't want to miss leading the youth group. I would, morning, Alicia, I would make the youth group a priority over my birthday. Now, does that mean that I don't love my family and I'm putting the... No, I love both of them. I love both of them. But both of them are important to me. So I would put my church family over my birthday. I can always celebrate my birthday on another day. It doesn't have to be on that exact day. So yes, my church family is extremely important to me, and my blood family is extremely important to me. What about you? What about you? How important is your church family to you? How important would you be willing to give up your birthday to be with your church family? I know of families that wanted to move to their closer to their work. They were driving an hour every day to work, and so they were thinking of maybe selling their home and moving closer to work. And the only thing that kept them from doing that was they didn't want to leave their church family. Their church family was so important to them that they were willing not to move to be closer to work, making that hour or more drive every day. That's love for a church family. Also know families that had to move. They did move, and they traveled great distances, an hour or more, to get to church. I think of the Joneses that lived here for many years, ever since they were married. And then he got his job relocated with his job into San Dimas and works there now, bought a home there, but stayed with his church family. Mike and Debbie, every Sunday, and many times they come in two vehicles because Mike doesn't want to be late to do the setup. So they would come in two vehicles that great distance to support their church family. Then Debbie would make that trip on Wednesday nights to bring her boys, Isaac and Lucas, to the youth group. That is love for a church family. How much does your church family mean to you? How much do they mean to you? I can remember even a family that lived downtown Long Beach, and they would take the bus. They'd have to take different buses to travel from downtown Long Beach to get to our church, to get to the church. It would take them over an hour, transferring to different buses and waiting for buses. And every Sunday they would make that trip because she would tell me she did not want to miss coming to Collision. She did not want to miss her church family. How important is your church family? How important is your church family? We've had several people that walk to church. What would you be willing to do? What would you be willing to do to attend your church? We're going to be making some big changes in Collision in soon. We've always met for 11 years, well, for 10 years, we've met on Sunday mornings. And then this past year was a major change, and everything was viral. Everything was social media. Now, when the pandemic eases and we're able to sing indoors, we're going to be moving to a church, to New Life Church in Cerritos Artesia area. But it's going to be on Sunday nights. It's going to be a major change to us. How many love their church so much that they're willing to make those kind of sacrifices, to give up meeting with Collision on Sundays to meet on Sunday nights. I hope that everyone loves I hope that everyone watching this loves their church family. Now I know that churches change. I know that pastors change. They change pastors. They change leadership. But for the most part, the family, the church family, stays together. I would hope that if something happened to me, that Collision would stay strong, and they would stay united, and they would stay together, and they would find someone else to lead their church, to be their pastor teacher. But in the meantime, I'm praying that God keeps me alive for a long time. I was telling somebody, I can't remember who it was. My brother watches this TV evangelist almost every Sunday, and I forget his name now, but he's 85 years old, and still stands erect. He's very articulate, still a great teacher. And so I think, well, gosh, I still have 10 years left yet then. I still have 10 years left yet if I can, and I'm sure that guy still has a long time left. So I'm hoping that I can keep doing this for a long, long time. I hope that I can stay with my church family. I love my church family. I've made great sacrifices for my church family, and I know that my church family have also made great sacrifices. We're kind of like, we're in this together, and we're going to keep on doing this together. And we're hoping that many others will join us in the process. I hope that each of you watching this, I hope you have that kind of a church family, a family that you love, a family that you would be willing to make great sacrifices, driving long distance or getting on buses or even walking or riding a bike to get there because of how important they are to you. That is just so important. That's why Jesus said here in this scripture, who is my church? Who is my family? Well, my mom and my brothers and sisters are my family. Then he pointed to his disciples and he said, but so are these my family. So are these. I would say the same thing. Sure, my family, my wife, my children, my brothers, my sisters, my grandchildren, they're all important to me. But so are you. Hope you can say the same thing. God bless you. Have a great day. Tonight is our Bible study as we continue to go through the book of Acts. Hope many of you can join us. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow morning again at 8 o'clock. Share this if it meant something to you. God bless you all and have a great, great day.